Good afternoon and welcome to the video check-in for today, Thursday, May 6th. I've been thinking about prayer. As a cantor, I certainly am involved in prayer, leading prayer for our community. It's one of the central things that I do, but to actively engage in prayer as opposed to just doing services or being at services, that's a different thing. It's different for me as a cantor. Am I actively involved in prayer, or am I just leading the community in prayer? And it certainly is a factor for, I know, all of you as well. You may come to services, you may love to come to services, you may hate to come to services. But while you're there, are you really actively involved in prayer in that moment? Or are we just kind of going through the motions? Now, prayer is hard. We can learn the prayers. We can learn all about the prayers. But actually learning to pray is a distinctly difficult and challenging thing to do. So the best way to do it is just to practice. And the best way to practice is really just by doing it, by being there, by being in the moment, living in the present. I talked a little bit about that as it pertains to this time of the Omer, this time of preparation that we're in right now as we lead up to Shavuot, the festival that commemorates the gift of Torah to us, to the people Israel. And the best way to prepare is to be in the moment, not just to look ahead, but to, take account of what we're doing right now. So a great example of this is the Shema. Now the Shema tells us, listen, Israel, Adonai is your God, Adonai is one. There is one God. We know it's all about there being one God. But the very first word is to listen. Be aware. Pay attention. Be in the moment. So music helps us to do this. Not just the same music we always do, but sometimes new music, sometimes traditional music. And the reason I give both examples is because the words in the prayer book are just words in the prayer book. They only become prayer when we actively pray them. So music helps us to do that. Music and prayer only come to life when we are engaged in doing it at that very moment. So by singing, we can do that. And often a new composition can help us do that as well, because we hear the words, we get a new sense of those words. We hear it in a new way because it's not the same way we've done it in the past. But even the traditional melodies, those can help us see that as well, because we might know the tune and the words backwards and forwards. But each time we sing it, we're recreating that music and that prayer anew. So using Shema as example, I'm going to sing you two versions of Shema. A relatively new composition that I wrote not too long ago, and then the most traditional version of the Shema that we all know, written by Solomon Zulzer in the mid-19th century, and is one of the most well-known prayers and tunes in our tradition. Hopefully you can Shema, listen, and maybe hear these prayers in a new way, and the next time you're in synagogue or at home or wherever you may be singing the Shema, maybe you can pay attention and really feel it in a new way as well. Shema, Shema, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch כבוד מלכותו